to minimize loss and suffering from these threats. At Lanes, we have the necessary products, flashlights, water tanks, generators, water pumps, and more that you should have to provide you with safety and comfort. Whether building a new or reinforcing existing structures, Lanes can provide both product and specialty consultation advice at our Home Vision department. Protect your family and protect your home. Lanes, 784-456-1411.
Christmas in this year. Can I have this?
We have an extra $400 from Flow. You can have everything you
More
want.
gifts with Flow. With Christmas in, win weekly prices up to 10,000 in cash. Sign up for a postpaid bundle or a broadband plan.
We Christmas in with free groceries from Flow. Plus, a chance to win weekly prizes and up to $10,000 cash. Head over to your nearest Flow store or visit discoverflow.co. Flow, we Christmasing.
More gifts with Flow.
99.9 WEFM. WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Cockle-doodle-doo! We are back with you for another segment of this morning's Activated Mornings program. In studio, you have Dianna, Cain, and myself, Roleza Samuel.
That's how we have in studio.
And we have an individual who is attempting to do something, but he shall not be named at this time, all right? When he actually fixes stuff for us, we will call his name. But when he's filling with things, then we will not call his name, all right? But big up you who's also in studio with us. All right, so we are back. Reminder that this is an interactive program, and the number to reach us on is 457-9997. Should you wish to be a part of the conversations that we are having, all right? So we're going to jump into a topic at this time. Remember, we're also live on Facebook. Sorry, I just go on a tangent very quickly. My apologies, right? We're also live on Facebook and YouTube. All right. So now I'm going to get back to what it is I was going to say. All right. So we are going to talk on a topic. Should smartphones carry health warnings? All right. Should smartphones carry health warnings? And came across this story yesterday, and this is in the Guardian newspaper, online publication, right? So they're saying that smartphones in Spain should carry a label warning users about their potential health impacts, experts have told the Spanish government in a report that calls for doctors to ask about screen time during checkups. Imagine that. On the list of things now in checkups, you have to ask about person's screen time, how much time they spend in front of a screen. So as Spain pushes forward with a draft law to limit children's exposure to technology, the 50-member committee of experts has also called for minors to have limited exposure to digital devices until they are 13 to mitigate what they see as public health program. All right. The report on the government... the report calling the government to consider adding a warning label to digital devices sold in Spain, informing customers of the health risks that have linked some to social media and digital devices, as well as the possible impacts that access to inappropriate content could have on the development. All right. Some of the problems that persons are saying is that the screen time or using phones or devices in excess have contributed to situations such as depression, anxiety, use of technology, and this is why they should be carried out or added to our checks, our medical checks now. All right. So some of the things that, the other things that can happen with a prolonged exposure to a mobile phone or just devices is there's radiation exposure. All right. So we have somebody calling. And this person is using WhatsApp. Morning. Good morning.
Good morning, my lovely lady. How you?
We're good. And you?
What happened?
No, we ain't still not Dave. We ain't still thing.
No, I find there was a long lapse or pause, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, no.
Yes, and and the other lady, Dianna. How is her name? Deanna?
No, DI.
Yeah.
It's one of
Yes.
those
I had,
names,
I
Dave.
had a, I had a Dianna girlfriend, and she's Deanna.
Okay.
So
okay. I went to
that
school. I
I
actually went
that
to school with a Diana with the E. Both of us were in the same class.
well, all right. You see what I
Yeah.
mean? It's small world, eh? But something I was hoping you guys would pick up. But to answer your question, you asked a question just now. I would just say yes. Once it concerns health, we all should be educated, and especially for any emergency situation. Yes, why not add it to your mobile facility? But something I want, Belgium. I don't know if you guys look at it, but that's very important. Has become the first country in the whole wide world to give, well, maybe you need to establish who's a sex worker. They have become the first country in the world to give sex workers all their rights and freedom or whatever, like all the other citizens in their country. What do you think about that?
I am going to
Because,
have to look
you
and
know,
see what the details with that entails, or Dave. I would make a
I
note of
thought
it.
you all pick, yeah, well, that's very interesting because I don't know if you have sex workers here. If we have sex workers, that is something. No, well, there is Belgium, anyhow. That is Belgium, right? Where they have rights just like anybody else, in their country now. Because, when there's always been a taboo or whatever you want to call it, where sex workers are concerned or prostitutes and all of that. But I think it's a wise move. I think, I don't want to hear all those who pretend not to be, who are not sex workers or prostitutes, what have you, because we are so dishonest with ourselves. That's why I make that statement. That's why I'm making that point. Because we are flesh and blood, black, white, whatever your complexion is. We all will fall victims or we all will enter certain professions, right? Be it a sex worker or whatever. So I just thought I'd mention that because as two women, I want to hear your reaction to that. I want to hear how you feel about that and so on, right? And don't, because it is said by our Prime Minister that the men them who been who criminals are killing because of high maintenance women. I don't know. I don't know who all fall in that category. But oh boy, so much nonsense so much things to deal with. Some of them so nonsensical. Some of them is so careless in casual remarks and all of that, and with a lot of meaning behind it. Well, we have a lot of imposters, traitors, and all of that. And anyway, I just thought I'd mention that. So, Alison, all right. Take care.
Thanks, Dave. All right, let's pick that up tomorrow because I want to read to see what all it entails before I discuss. And I have my initial thoughts, but let me see what it's going to be tied to. All right, so, smartphones, should they carry health warnings?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you ready for my opinion? I think that a smartphone with a health warning would be the same as the health warning on the cigarette box.
Explain.
The cigarette box when
the Surgeon General's warning, right?
That smoking is bad for your health. But who buys a pack of cigarettes and sees that on there and be like, oh well, you know what? Let me put this back. Who does that? They still do it anyway. They're aware of the effects, but they are still continuing to use it. I think the same thing is going to happen with the devices. We have grown attached to these devices, and I know that many of us know that they have harmful effects, but we're going to continue to use our devices. But yes, it should have a health warning, but I let me leave it there. Yes. So go ahead with this.
All right. Okay, go ahead. Hi, Colin. Morning.
Hey, Dianna, you're absolutely right. it's not going to make any difference. I don't know about St. Vincent. I can't recall seeing any, but in Bermuda, as you drive along the roads, you'll see signs, speed limit 15 miles per hour or 35. Our speed limit in Bermuda is 20 miles per hour. You cannot legally exceed that. But people ignore it. It's not going to make any difference. And to Mr. Roberts, this guy needs a touch. He's obsessed by sex. You know, I don't know what we're going to do with him. Anyway, there used to be, I think it was Mr. Donnie Collins, worked with WEFM at one point. Is that correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And every day he would come up with a different word. And I really look forward to that. I don't know if teacher Dulles Alexander is listening to me, but I'm wondering whether or not you could liaise with her and do a little segment, the word for today. Because this morning I listened to your officers, your fine officers, butcher another word, advice and advise. Is there a difference in those two words?
Joshua,
I'm asking.
I know you know the answer. I know that is a rhetorical question.
Yes, because I really used to look forward to Mr. Donnie Collins. Every day he would come up with a different word. He'd give the meaning and he would use it in a sentence.
Joshua, hold on.
So
I have a word for you. I want to see if you know this word. Do you know what is an aglet?
An aglet?
Uh-huh.
No.
Okay.
Are you insulting me?
No. It's something that I believe that many of us don't know. I actually just learned it from a show. I learned it from a children's show. So I'm gonna leave it and see if anybody who is listening know. And then
I'll check, yes.
Yeah.
I'll check Mr. Google. You know, I did the first time I cut my hair in like 15 years. Our son was still in college. When he saw it, he posted, "Dad, you look sagacious." I said to my wife, "Why not is this guy insulting me? I mean, we raised him better." So she said, "Why don't you look it up?" When I looked up the word, I saw what sagacious meant. And I responded to him and said, "Son, thank you very much. I love you daily." So I would love to see, like a word for the day, because we keep butchering the English language. I applaud the education revolution, but somewhere along the line, we neglected English language. So, Teacher Alexander, if you're out there, please help us. And I'm out of here. I'm gone.
All right. Thanks, Joshua. As Joshua is making that point, I mentally chuckled because whenever it is I listen to the PM, I always learn a new word, right? So last week in Parliament, I thought that he said something in particular. I was messaging a friend who was in Parliament at the time, and I was like, "What's that word the PM just said?" So the word was pellucid, right? It means clear, right? But the PM said it, and I was like, what's that? And I was there looking for the incorrect word on Google. So the person who was actually paying attention, more attention than I was, they mentioned, told me the spelling, so I went and looked it up myself. So this is why I always say that it's also why this topic just going all over. This is why I always say it's important for, especially persons in the media, to be informed in a sense where, so yes, the PM might use a word. And I know persons always joke about the PM using these words and he said if you're making them up, right? But the thing of it is that when you hear somebody using a word, the first thing that you should probably try to do is try to go and Google the word so that you can actually improve on your vocabulary, right? I think so many times that persons just, they just don't care, or they're saying that you're using big words to show off on people, but it's not a matter of that. There are times when the big word is actually the first word that comes to your head, So the thing of it is that if you don't know, go and look it up, On
the topic of words, I learned a new word yesterday, pillion. Yes. Okay. I was like, what is this? And I'm learning that a pillion rider is simply the person that rides on the back of the motorcycle.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, interesting. I did not even know that particular person has a name.
Yes. All right. So to sum up this conversation, should smartphones carry health warnings? I see Evan is saying yes, health warnings are needed in England, Scotland, and Wales. This was discussed in Parliament a couple of months ago. If he's not mistaken, they are discussing or making laws. I do have a slightly different take on this, right? I don't know if it's a case where these smartphones should actually come with health warnings. What it says to me is, do we have enough willpower and do we have enough discipline, right? Because this smartphone is there by itself. It is not a damaging tool. The fact that we have chosen to spend so much time on it is what is the problem. It's the same like cigarettes. You brought up cigarettes, right? Same like cigarettes. Cigarettes are there, but I am not a smoker. I have no intention to be smoking. So Surgeon General warning or not, this cigarette package is not going to have any sort of effect on me because I am not inclined to be smoking. So the thing of it is that I think a lot of the times when we put blame on technology or we put blame on things, we are deflecting where the blame actually lies. The blame should be lying within us because we can choose not to go on the smartphones. We can choose not to have our children on their tablets or on their devices for an extended period of time. We can choose not to introduce it to them at an early age. So really and truly, where does the blame lie or who does it lie with? So that is the question that's up in the air for persons to decide. Should these smartphones carry the health warnings or should we do some introspection and go forward from there? All right. So that, good folks, is our segment at this time. And the time here in SVG, it is 9:06.